In this PowerPoint, we are going to be covering Key Area 1 of multicellular organisms. In Key Area 1, we are going to be exploring sexual and asexual reproduction and their importance for the survival of a species. For this video, our learning intention is to compare and develop understanding of sexual reproduction methods in various organisms. On page 3 of your pupil booklet, you'll find our success criteria that goes along with this video. By the end of this video, you should be confident to describe sexual reproduction. You should be able to explain the importance of sexual reproduction for survival of species, and be able to describe the difference between external and internal fertilization. When we look at our success criteria in a differentiated manner, we can identify that describe sexual reproduction is a remembering skill. You need to apply understanding to be able to explain the importance of sexual reproduction for survival of species. And then for our last success criteria, again, we're looking for a remembering skill, that you need to be able to describe the difference between external and internal fertilization. Reproduction is a basic characteristic of life. What that means is for organisms to be able to survive, they need to be able to reproduce. Organisms such as animals like humans, cats, dogs, plants, and even bacteria and viruses need to be able to reproduce. All living organisms reproduce to keep population numbers at steady levels, ensuring the survival of a species. Failure to reproduce would lead to extinction. You may be aware of some animals that are in threat of an extinction due to their inability to reproduce, the giant pandas being one quite common example. From this area, one key word that you need to be familiar with using is the word reproduction. And the term reproduction refers to producing young by breeding. In sexual reproduction, there are two separate parents involved, a male parent and a female parent. Throughout the remainder of this video, we may make use of the word gamete. The word gamete is used to describe a sex cell. So, for example, in humans, the male gamete is sperm and the female gamete is an egg. Sexual reproduction. We're going to explore the term variation. If you look at the image in front of you, we can see that we've got a different number of dogs appearing on the screen. The dogs that you can see on the screen differ with regards characteristics. They differ in size, their ear shape or their ear length, the colour of their coat, the length of their coat, even the texture of their coat. Their eye colour is different, and so is the shape of their heads. The big question we ask here is why it is important that the dogs have these differences. Why is it important that members of a species show differences from each other? These differences that we're talking about are referred to as variation. Variation means members of a species have different characteristics. Sexual reproduction ensures variation between individuals in the population. Variation allows species to adapt to environmental changes. Reflecting on the information that has just been shared, Take time to complete this task using the word bank at the bottom. The next part of the video will share the answers with you to this task. Sexual reproduction involves two parents. All of the offspring produced are different from each other. Sexual reproduction is important for introducing variation in a population, and it enables species to adapt to changing environmental conditions. Fertilization. Parent organisms produce gametes, which are special sex cells for reproduction. In animals, the male gamete is called a sperm cell. The female gamete is an egg cell. The term fertilization means the nucleus of a sperm cell fusing with the nucleus of an egg cell. We are going to compare two types of fertilization, internal and external. You can copy the URL code that appears at the bottom of the screen into your browser and watch the attached video before progressing with the next part of this video. Comparing fertilization. There are two types of fertilization. External means that fertilization occurs outside the parental body. In fish and amphibians, the sperm and eggs are released into the surrounding water so that fertilization can take place. With internal fertilization, the process of fertilization occurs inside the body. In reptiles, birds, and mammals, the sperm and eggs must meet in fluids within the female animal. You have a task here to complete. Using the words in the word bank, complete the statements that appear on the screen. The answers to these statements will be revealed on the next part of this video. Fertilization occurs when the nucleus of a sperm cell fuses with the nucleus of an egg cell. External fertilization occurs outside the body. Internal fertilization occurs inside the body. You are asked here to visit the differentiated success criteria again. Can you gauge your understanding against the three success criteria? Are you able to describe sexual reproduction? Can you explain the importance of sexual reproduction for survival of species? And can you describe the difference between external and internal fertilization? If you don't feel confident with any of these success criteria, please go back to the relevant part of the video and watch and take notes again. To test your understanding before moving on to the next subtopic, try these plenary questions as they appear on the screen in front of you.